Orca Bofors, written and voiced by Martin Perez. Dedicated to Dragon, Steel, and Pom-Poms by Just Another Ethan on Wattpad, DeviantArt, and Royal Road. An amazing story so far, officially endorsed by the Department of the Boat People and the men and women of Task Force 1038. I can only hope this does you justice, Ethan.
Part 1.
Pounded by the Atlantic swells, I tried to keep my balance on the bridge. Then again, destroyers were not well known for the seaworthiness. However, while the waves here in the Atlantic were definitely larger than in the Arctic, we were used to an angry sea by now. I clung tight to the bridge wing rails on the starboard side, looking out across the convoy, 32 merchantmen in all of them the ubiquitous Liberty ships, and 14 escorts surrounding them. There were 3 Castle-class corvettes, HMS Lancaster Castle, Banafee, K691, HMS Maiden Castle, Gladdy, K443, and HMS Kenilworth Castle, Monaco, K420, and 3 Everest-class destroyer escorts for close defense, USS Crowder, Lancer, DE-11, USS Lee Hardy, Gambit, DE-20, and USS Steele, Carnegie, DE-8. There were also 2 reservist British destroyers, HMS Tiernan, Broker, R-67, and HMS Onslaught, Insight, G-04.
USS Lemoore, Orca, being the only Benson-Livermore-class destroyer on the East Coast at the time, and all 5 legendary Fletchers here in the Atlantic. USS Guest, Vigilant, DD-472, USS Wren, Robin, DD-568, USS Gatling, Biscuit, DD-671, and USS Sampson, Titan, DD-568, of which Sampson led the convoy formation as comm escort.
Liberty SS Zachary Taylor was our comm convoy, and the last ship of any note was the SS Novelist, our catapult-armed merchant, CAM for short. Even though we were unlikely to encounter enemy planes over the Atlantic, there would be a welcome addition against the remaining Axis air power in France, if we didn't shoot them all down first. For our first real Atlantic convoy, we spared no expense, our Hedgehog locked and loaded with 7 full patterns ready and waiting. Ranking among the flowers in terms of depth charges for displacement, we carried the most ash cans out of all the ships in the convoy, 94 Mark 6s in total. If we managed to burn through over 1,688 5-inch rounds, 17,632 rounds of 40mm, and 2,160 rounds of 20mm again, I would gladly meet Admiral King and tell him straight to his face that he lied to me. We were assigned mid-convoy, on the port side, our sonar taking the left flank. And while I would have said it was smooth sailing, no longer being the lone warship in charge of 53 ships of the whole convoy, memories of our time at PQ-17 flashed through my head. Looking over the convoy once more, I took a deep breath of the sea spray splashing the bridge. We were granted a mere day of liberty before we were assigned to convoy AT-21, bound for Liverpool, ferrying war supplies and U.S. troops to aid Britain in the fight. Rumors circulated suggesting a major attack in the coming months. A couple of battalions of men, tanks, and aircraft stuffed inside the merchant cargo holds proved as much. And while my crew was disheartened not being able to enjoy their well-earned peace for longer, with a vote of 170 to none, with 6 abstentions, we resigned ourselves to return as convoy shepherds. Imagine our surprise when we discovered our convoy was to warrant 8 destroyers, 5 of which were Fletchers. This convoy must have something that important. Maybe we had our work cut out for us. I pulled up my binoculars, spotting Commander Robert Drake, comm escort, and captain of the USS Sampson. I spotted him looking off to the front of the convoy, probably to the surface U-boat shadowing us at bearing 081, ahead left of the convoy, 10 miles away. Huff and radar had been tracking them for hours. The entire escort group knew they would try to attack come nightfall. And if they tried to attack us on our flank, which was standard procedure for a trained U-boat skipper, we would be the ones to face them. Orca and Banafee. And while I had good relations with Flower-class corvettes, I wasn't too sure about the newfangled castles. They were much faster than the Flowers, and they had way fewer depth charges. Not the most confidence-inducing. Heck, it was probably a move by Mr. Drake to put the Seawolves to support the British juniors, or to supplement their weaknesses with our strengths. Sir, I turned to meet Mr. Keeling. Titan is ordering the convoy to maintain course bearing 110. I frowned, looking again through my binoculars, dead ahead. There was a storm brewing off in the distance, some 2 miles away. I hoped we would sail around it, but alas, it was not to be. I sighed. Very well. Maintain our station and bring us up to condition zebra. Aye, sir. Thomas nodded, speaking into his mic. All stations, set material condition zebra throughout the ship. A moment later, Britt's shrill whistle and posh voice sounded over the 1MC.
All hands, secure condition zebra throughout the ship. Lock down all watertight passageways.
I sighed. Storms weren't too bad, but I still didn't like being thrashed around like a dinghy. Oh well, we do all the sea allows. I stepped back inside the warm, rapidly warming pilot house, Thomas behind me. I met Stinky, standing by the chart table, grumbling. Maybe even lose 1 or 2 U-boats in this weather. I sighed, looking down at the charts and radar repeater. 6 subs, still decently ahead of the convoy. The green dots of the semi-regular convoy formation most likely will be scattered in the rough seas and low visibility of the storm. And with SC radar, while it fared worse in the frigid Arctic cold, probably wouldn't do well in the fog either. All we could do was keep our station with the guide, SS John and Robbins, and hope everyone else did too. And then a pattering noise started sounding across the bridge. Before they were wiped away by the window wipers, rain began to gather on the porthole glass. The storm was happening upon us. I took a deep breath.
Hopefully, they won't follow us. They'll lose the convoy.
Even though I knew that was unlikely to happen, not if we didn't want to become even more scattered. The captain could hope. For now, we braced for the storm.